They laughed at him. They mocked him. To them, he was just a delivery boy, sweaty uniform, heavy boxes, and no future. But what they didn't know was that behind his silence, he was building an empire. And one day, this same man would walk back into their office, not with packages in his hands, but with the power to fire them all. This is the story of how the delivery man became the boss. "Hey, delivery boy, don't trip over the boxes!" The room burst into laughter as Marcus walked in, carrying 3 heavy cartons stacked high in his arms. His uniform was damp with sweat, the collar sticking to his neck. But his posture was straight, his eyes sharp, his steps steady. He had been through worse than this. Marcus wasn't new to insults. He had heard them all his life. People had judged him by his skin, his uniform, his job. They thought a delivery man had no ambition, no education, no future beyond lifting boxes. But this office, the Belmont Corporation, was something different. The air here was thick with arrogance. Every laugh, every whisper carried poison. The interns looked at him like he was invisible. The managers smirked as if he were beneath them, and one man in particular seemed to enjoy tearing him down. Richard, a senior executive, with slick hair, a smug smile, and a tongue sharp enough to cut through pride. Every time Marcus walked in, Richard had a new joke. "Marcus, do they teach you in delivery school how to balance boxes on your head? Or is that just a natural gift?" he sneered one morning. The room howled with laughter. Marcus didn't flinch. He forced a polite smile and kept walking, his arms burning under the weight of the boxes. He had mastered the art of silence. He knew that if he lashed out, they'd call him angry. If he argued, they'd call him unprofessional. So he kept his head down. But inside, Marcus's mind was racing. What these people didn't know was that behind his tired eyes was a man with a plan. He wasn't just a delivery man. He was a student of life, a dreamer, a builder. He believed in something they had long forgotten, that dignity and hard work would always outlast cruelty. Still, every insult left a scar. Every laugh echoed in his chest. And with each passing day, the fire inside him burned hotter. Marcus made himself a silent promise, a vow he repeated every time Richard mocked him, every time the interns rolled their eyes. "One day they'll respect me. One day I won't just walk into this office carrying boxes, I'll walk in owning it." And when that day came, the laughter would finally stop. What nobody at Belmont Corporation knew was that Marcus had been building something of his own all along. They saw a man in a faded uniform, lugging packages through their glass doors. But they never saw what happened when those doors closed behind him, after grueling delivery shifts. While others collapsed on their couches or went out drinking, Marcus stayed awake under the glow of a desk lamp. Accounting, management, logistics, he devoured every book he could find. His small apartment looked less like a home and more like a library. Pages covered with notes, binders filled with plans, sticky notes scattered across the walls. He saved every penny he could. Vacations? He never took one. Parties? He skipped them. New clothes, flashy phones, fancy dinners? He ignored them all. Instead, Marcus lived with discipline. Every dollar had a purpose, and that purpose was investment. First, he poured his savings into a small logistics company, a tiny startup with just one van and a handful of clients. Then came new delivery trucks, stronger equipment, and smarter software. As his network grew, Marcus made it a point to hire people who, like him, had been overlooked. Men and women who knew the sting of being underestimated, found a second chance in his company. While Richard and his colleagues at Belmont mocked him for carrying boxes, Marcus was carrying something much heavier, the weight of his future. While they laughed at his sweat, he was sweating over contracts, negotiations, and late-night networking events. Every insult he endured only fueled his determination. Step by step, brick by brick, Marcus built his empire quietly, without the need for applause. Then came the moment that changed everything. Belmont Corporation, the very same company that treated him like a joke, was in trouble. Their shipping department was crumbling. Deadlines were missed, packages piled up in warehouses, and angry clients threatened to walk away. Competitors circled like sharks, ready to take a bite out of Belmont's reputation. Desperate, the board made a decision. They would outsource logistics. Bids were sent out to dozens of companies, but not once did they realize that one of those bids came from Marcus's growing firm. When the offers returned, one stood above the rest. Reliable, efficient, cost-effective. It wasn't just good, it was perfect. The board didn't hesitate. They signed immediately. And just like that, Marcus, the man they once called Delivery Boy, became the official logistics provider for Belmont Corporation. Overnight, the one who carried their boxes was now carrying their future. The first morning under the new contract, Marcus walked into the Belmont office, not in a faded delivery uniform, but in a perfectly tailored navy suit. His polished shoes echoed across the marble floors like thunder, commanding attention with every step. The same employees who once mocked him now froze mid-conversation. Some dropped their coffee cups. Others quickly straightened their posture. Whispers spread through the office like wildfire. "Is that Marcus? No way, that can't be the delivery guy. He looks like a boss." And that's exactly what he was. Richard, the senior executive who had led the taunts for years, was the first to break the silence. He plastered on a fake smile, his voice dripping with forced cheer. "Marcus, hey, welcome back. Looks like business is treating you well." But Marcus wasn't here for pleasantries. He turned his gaze directly at Richard, his tone calm but heavy with authority. "Richard, I'm not here for small talk. I'm here as your new logistics director. From this day forward, Belmont answers to my company. And that means you answer to me." The entire room froze. Jaws dropped. It was unthinkable. The delivery boy had just declared himself their new boss. Richard's smirk faltered, his voice shaking. You can't be serious." "This is a joke." Marcus shook his head slowly. "No joke. The board signed me in to fix the disaster you left behind. And the first step in cleaning house is removing the people who thought cruelty was good business." He placed a folder on the conference table, sliding it toward Richard with deliberate calm. His eyes didn't blink as he spoke the words that echoed through the office. "Your name is at the top of the list." Gasps filled the room. Richard's face drained of color as security escorted him out, his arrogance replaced by disbelief. But Marcus wasn't finished. One by one, he addressed the other managers, those who had sneered at him, laughed behind his back, or encouraged Richard's cruelty, gone. Those who had shown kindness, even in small ways, he kept. He wasn't punishing everyone. He was rewarding character. By the end of the day, the power dynamic inside Belmont Corporation had completely shifted. The man they once mocked as Delivery Boy now sat at the head of the table, rewriting the rules. Epilogue. From that day forward, Belmont employees never forgot the lesson. Respect everyone, because you never know who they really are or who they'll become. And that, my friends, is why you should never underestimate anyone. The man they mocked as a delivery boy walked out as a boss. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful stories, and ring the bell so you never miss the next one.